If you've been wanting to sew yourself some clothes and don't know where to start, well, how about starting with a pair of pants? If you guys have followed me on any of my socials, you guys would have heard me say before that pants are actually really easy to make. They just seem a little intimidating to get started on. Today, we're going to be sewing a pair of high-waisted trousers with slanted pockets. We're going to get started by downloading your pattern and piecing it together. As part of the pattern, you guys will have back pocket pieces, but we're not doing the back pockets today, and I'll show you guys how to do that in a different video. To get started on making these pants, we will need to take your hip measurements first, and that is the widest part of your butt. Make sure your measuring tape is parallel to the ground, and then add half an inch to those hip measurements so that you have some ease in your pants, because that's where I messed up. Mine fit me a little bit too perfectly. Joann's have really good remnant fabric aisles, like where it's like a whole aisle versus just a couple shelves. I found this there and it was only $10 because I feel like their fabric is a little bit overpriced when it's on the regular roll. They're obviously just trying to sell whatever's left of the fabric. Hopefully this is enough for trousers. I think it is. This is a yard and a half. I thought it'd be perfect for fall. We're going to start off by prepping the fabric and ironing out all the creases and then laying out all the pieces on top of that fabric, and we have just enough for what I need. I'm not lining my pants at all. I'm only going to be lining the waistband. I'm sure by now you guys have realized there's so much more that goes into sewing than actually sewing, and that includes all of the prep work. And me personally, I hate cutting out fabric, but it has to be done. One day I totally went to invest into a pattern projector. After you have gotten all the pieces cut out from your main facing fabric, we are going to take some lightweight fusible interfacing for the waistband pieces and just cut those out. The interfacing will offer the waistband some support, especially since we want it to be pretty fitted around the midsection. And when you're ironing the fusible interfacing to the waistband, make sure that the rough side is to the fabric because that's the glue part, and that you're ironing down the smooth side. I like to start in the center and press outwards so that there's no bubbles. And be sure to check the settings of your iron to make sure that it is hot enough to melt that glue and securely join those two pieces without melting your actual fabric. For some reason, my fabric was confusing me and I couldn't decide whether or not to use black or white thread, but the warp yarns were white, so that's why I decided to go with white thread, and the contrast just looks so much more stark on camera than it does in person. And here's my favorite marking tool, which is this chalk wheel, because I feel like you can get really precise lines with it, and I do cut out my darts in my pattern so that I can trace it onto my fabric. We are going to be doing this for both the front and back pant legs. We'll be tracing the darts onto those pieces, so 4 times. Depending on how I feel, I'll either freehand this or use a ruler for more exact lines. I will fold those darts in half and pin it along that line. I'm making sure as I pin that both the front and back of the dart legs are matching up, and that's how I make my darts exact, because I feel like it does make a difference on your fit if your darts are off-centered or they're just not sewn correctly. I do have these extra steps just to eliminate that margin of error. After sewing the waist darts of the front and back pant leg, again this is 4 times, we're going to be pressing out those darts and pressing that seam allowance of the darts towards the side seam. I know it can be so tempting to skip these small steps, but it does really make a big difference in whether or not your final result is going to look professional or not. I did have a brand deal with the Rowenta steam station, but it is honestly one of the best iron I have used for sewing, and it really has made pressing out these seams way more enjoyable. I also use tailoring hams to help with the shaping of the seams. Now you're going to take your front pant pieces as well as those pocket end pieces, and with right sides together you're going to sew down the side seams. You're going to be sewing from that waist to the notch in that pocket. Repeat this exact step for the other side of the pants. This is what your front pant piece should look like with the pocket attached to it. We're going to do the exact same thing for the back pant leg, but we're going to take the pocket seam piece and sew it to the side seam of the back pant leg. As you can see, these pockets do have a notch in them and you're supposed to sew only up to that notch. I messed up and sewed way past it for the front pant leg, and I'm going to have to seam rip that. But the reason why you can't sew past that notch is because we still want to create a usable pocket bag, and if you sew past that, then anything you put in that pocket is just going to fall out. And it's totally okay if you sewed past that notch. You can just seam rip like I did. Let me tell you, seam ripping has really taught me patience. Now we're going to serge our raw edges. When you're serging that side seam, fold that notch piece over towards the center front because you don't want to catch it into the side seam, and you're going to see why later on. We're going to serge the raw edges of that side seam all the way down that pant leg as well as that crotch. And then all of your zipper pieces, including the fly and the zipper guard, we're going to also serge all those raw edges. For the zipper guard, make sure you're folding it in half before you serge all around it. As you can see here, I didn't serge that notched piece into the side seam. And now we're going to do the front fly pieces. It's always good to do this when your pants is completely flat and not sewn together at the side seam yet. I always have to use a reference for this because I can't remember which side it goes on. And I know this is going to get a little bit confusing with the right and left, but I'm referring to it as if the pants is already on you. So when I'm referring to your right pant leg, I'm literally referring to your right leg. And as well as for the left, but when you're facing it, it's going to be in reverse. But you can just copy it for how you guys see it in the video. And we're going to start off by sewing the zipper to the middle part of the fly. And if the zipper is sewn correctly, it should be able to zip up just like this. And I'm using just a normal coiled zipper for the front closure, and obviously it's way too long, but we're going to trim that later. I'm going to switch out my sewing foot into one that allows me to get much closer to the teeth of the zipper, but I don't really have to be on top of it. The zipper should be sewn to the right front crotch seam as well as the middle of that fly piece. I'm testing it once again that it can zip up correctly because you want the fly piece to actually cover the zipper teeth. And now for that right crotch seam, we're going to take that zipper guard and place it on top of the zipper so that the zipper is sandwiched between the zipper guard and the pant leg, and we're going to sew down along the zipper teeth. This part of the pants just looks a lot more complicated than it really is, but it's rather easy to sew once you get the hang of it. So once you have sewn these pieces together, we're going to push the seam allowance towards the side seam and top stitch that seam allowance down. Again, you want to top stitch as close to the zipper teeth as possible. I think it's safe to say that a lot of people actually find this the most intimidating part of the pants because, again, it just looks a lot more complicated than it really is, but this is how it should look when you're done. You're going to see me test this over and over again just to make sure I'm sewing the pieces correctly. And now we're going to take that fly piece, and with right sides together on the left crotch seam, we're going to sew it together. Then we are going to press the seam allowance towards the center front and top stitch it down. Now we're going to trim this extra long zipper. I buy my zippers from all the same place, so they're all like 22, 23 inch, and you really only need a 6 or 7 inch long zipper for this. After I sew perpendicular to the zipper and trim off the excess, we're going to finish the front crotch seam of the front pant legs. And now we're going to do that top stitching that you often see on pants. It's called like a J-curve. When you're sewing the J-curve at the bottom, you want to catch all the layers, but as you go up the curve and it's parallel to the zipper, you don't want to catch the zipper guard in it, and that's why I have it pinned back, because you still need to be able to unzip the pants fully. And I like to make it about 1 3/4 inches wide, and then I'm just gonna use my curved ruler so that I have a perfect J shape. Again, I just chalk everything out so that I can trace it exactly so that my curve doesn't look insane. I'm showing you guys how I sew the J-curve in real time, so it's going to be a little slow, but at the bottom, as you can see, I'm trying to catch all of the layers, and once I go past that point, we're going to cut it off there. I try to make sure that I'm not catching that zipper guard in the remaining seam line. Then after I'm done sewing the J-curve all the way through, I'm going to go back to the bottom of the J-curve and just top stitch across it one more time just to secure it. And this is how that ended up looking. I have no idea why my camera is spazzing out. The fabric is making it be all trippy for some reason. We are now done with the hardest part of the pants. Like, honestly, that was the hardest part. We're going to move on to the pockets now. For the side seam allowance, we're going to top stitch that down. And we're going to do this for both of the pocket bags that are attached to the front of the pants. By stitching down the seam allowance, we're controlling the bulk and we're going to help the pocket lay nice and flat. Repeat the step for the back pant legs because remember, we also have pocket bags attached to the side seam of both of the back pant legs. Take your back pant legs and with right sides together, we're going to sew the back crotch seam. The back crotch seam is now sewn together. We're going to press that seam out later because you're going to have a lot of things to press, and I like to just combine it all at once so that I don't keep standing up and sitting down, honestly. And now we're going to be sewing the pocket bags together as well as the pant leg side seam. And you're going to do this for both sides of the pants. When you're continuing to sew that side seam, you want to match it exactly where you left off with the pocket bag because you don't want a hole in your pants. And now we're going to serge together the raw edges of the pocket bags on both sides. Next, we're going to sew the inside pant leg starting from the crotch seam because I like to do that so that the crotch seam could line up, and I'll go from the center to the hem of the pants on either side. Now it's that time where we head over to the ironing board to press open all of our seams. We're going to press open our side seams as well as our crotch seams, which we didn't do earlier. And just checking in with you guys, this is how your pants should look this far. We have slanted pockets that line up to the notch of the waist of the trousers. We are moving on to the waistband of the trousers, and we're just going to sew the right and left side of the waistband together at the center back. We're going to repeat this for the lining. So now that your lining and your facing are sewn together at the center back, we're going to sew the waistbands together at the top with right sides together. I do like my seams to match up, and so that's why I always sew from the center outwards. And once you're done sewing the waistband at the top, you're going to push the seam allowance towards the lining and top stitch that seam allowance down. Lining up the center back of the waistband to the center back of the pants, we're going to sew only the facing of the waistband all the way around the waistband of the trousers. The waistband is attached to the trousers now, and as you can see, our slant pockets stayed where they were supposed to at that notched mark. Next, we're going to serge the seam at where the waistband and trousers are joined. To finish off the waistband, we're going to fold the waistband in half right sides together and sew a line that is perpendicular to the waistband but lines up with the edge of the pants. We are going to trim off the excess seam allowance as close to that seam line as possible, as well as cut diagonally at the corners so that we can flip it inside out without the bulk. be repeating these steps for the other end of the waistband. Again, folding right sides together, sewing a perpendicular line, trimming off that seam allowance, and cutting a diagonal at the corner so that we can turn it inside out. Before we close up the waistband and stitch in the ditch, this is the best time to try on your pants because the waistband is still technically open, like your garment is open and you can actually adjust it if you need to. This is what I meant earlier when I was saying that as you're taking your measurements, make sure to add ease to your pants. I should have added like 3/4 to an inch so that I had room to move in the pants and sit comfortably. But while we have the pants in this state and the waistband is open, I had already known that I was going to have to take in the waist for it to fit better at the center back, and now that seam is easily accessible. Once I have tailored my pants to fit me exactly how I want it, it's time to close up the waistband. And what you're going to do is for the lining, you're going to fold it over slightly just so that it covers that seam line, because we're going to stitch in the ditch and try to catch that lining from the front side. I find it easier to have it pre-pressed and even pinned. Take your time and go slowly. Take the time to admire your stitching because I know that's a hard one, but it looks so nice from the front side because you can't even see the stitch line. And for the front darts, we did sew it closed. Now is the time to open it because I had only sewn it closed so that it can maintain its shape and give us that nice crease at the front. After that, to finish up the waistband, we're just going to sew a hook and eye for that closure and finish off with a rolled hem for the pants. I did an inch rolled hem. I like thicker hems at the bottom of the pants because I think it just looks better. And you did it! If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching this video. You're on your way to sewing your dream capsule wardrobe.